Hey everyone, welcome to Lady Overlander Radio. Tonight we're speaking with Tracy Charles of TLC Travels. Stay tuned. Grab your favorite drink, whether it's a coffee, cocktail, or tea, and get ready. It's Ladies' Night on Lady Overlander Radio. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. The Lady Overlander Radio podcast is available on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all other major podcast platforms. Enjoy the show. Hey, Arla. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, girl. Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing. How you doing?
I'm doing.
You're
I'm
doing?
heading back home to you.
Yeah. 7 years ago, Misty left Arkansas.
I know.
On a trip.
I've been everywhere. Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico, all over the place. So it's been fun.
Where you at right now? Texas or Oklahoma?
Oklahoma.
And it's going to storm tonight. You're going to be so excited.
Right.
And tomorrow all day.
But
I know how much you love the storms.
I'm in a building. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're going to drive tomorrow, right? You want to drive?
Joe's driving. I'll let him deal with that.
You'll just be sitting over there going like this.
Yeah. I'll just be like, I'm going to sleep through this.
I'm going to take a little nappy nap now. I'm scared.
So real quick, before we jump into the show, let's chat about some upcoming stuff we've got going on. We've got the Jasper Jeep Jam and Overlanding Rally coming up March 14th through the 16th at the Newton County Fairgrounds.
That's a week from tomorrow, people. A week from tomorrow.
And I think Lisa's cutting the ticket sales off like soon. So like in the next day or two. So get your tickets if you haven't yet. We really want to see you there. We're going to have a Ladies Overland Lounge there.
We are.
It's going to be awesome. We got a lot of cool stuff going on. We're going to be serving hot coffee from Pour Off Road.
We
had on a week or so ago. Yep.
Speaking of the devil herself.
There she is.
There's Lisa.
Oh, we can buy the
cake now.
Good job.
Are you doing the QR code thing, Lisa? Is that a rumor I heard from that guy that lives in this house? Just tell me.
QR code? Asking for a friend? Hey, old man truck.
Hey.
Yeah.
So I think she got fancy on us. I think she got fancy.
Yes. Well, we had a chat about that. I'm like, some people are going to want to come by for the day. Be driving by. Oh, good. He's coming home. Good.
Wait, are you in the Branson Airport or are you in the Northwest Arkansas Airport? Do tell. Yes, QR code. See, she did go and get fancy.
Bear with us, Tracy. We've got to communicate a little bit here.
Hey, I'm just no problem.
Yeah.
Just jump in there. Oh, Gloria.
Hey, Gloria. Hey, girl. Hey.
Well, you're not far from me, Lisa. For the low, we could have went to dinner, but then I'd missed the podcast, so never mind.
No.
Could have swung by. You could have swung by. I mean, for real.
Could have.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi.
Man.
Lisa, Tracy is in South America right now. That's where we're talking to her from. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's 10 o'clock at night there.
That's way past my bedtime.
Yeah, it is way past my bedtime, but I did have a nice nap this afternoon. So I'm
good.
Did you drink a Mountain Dew?
No,
I'm waiting for them to sponsor.
I guess. Okay, there you go. That would work.
So we also have Arla and I just came up with a ladies only camp and ride weekend. It'll be Friday, April 26th through the Sunday, April 28th. That'll be in the Ozarks somewhere. We're not going to announce where yet exactly. But you'll have to stay tuned to the next upcoming podcast, and we will announce it in one of the podcasts coming up in the next couple of weeks. So,
and we are going to cut it off.
Come on out.
We're going to cap it. We're going to cap it, though.
Yeah. We haven't decided how many rigs yet, but we are going to cap it.
But if you're going, you better hit that you're going.
Right.
You
got that, Tracy? If you're going to fly back and come to Arkansas, you need to let us know, Tracy.
Lisa says she's going to go.
I might be back in Canada this summer. I don't know. I never know where I'm going to be. So I might be
Yeah.
there.
Nice.
I'm not putting you down, Lisa. You're going to have to hit the button yourself, ma'am. Hit the button.
Okay.
You're just sitting
All
around
right.
your husband.
So those are the two things we've got coming up in the next month or so. We'll post our schedule for the rest of the year, probably sometime in May. But other than that, we're going to roll into the show. We're going to have Tracy introduce herself, give a little background on herself, and tell us how she got into solo motor adventure riding. Go ahead, Tracy.
Thank you. So my name is Tracy Charles. Born and raised in Canada. I am currently retired. But about 13 years ago, my partner ended up with brain cancer, and it was a death sentence, this particular type. So he died very, very young. My daughter was very young as well. So after watching him go through this, I just thought I'm going to start ticking stuff off my bucket list. So I went back to traveling. I got my dive license. Motorcycle riding was not on that bucket list, but I had a girlfriend of mine, Kathy. She talked me into it along with another friend of ours. And I honestly didn't like it at first. I had the wrong bike. I kind of had more of a fast crotch rocket. So I didn't really take to it very well. But for some reason, I thought I was good enough to do this off-road tour in Peru. And I just knew I needed lessons when I got back home. So when I got back to Canada, I took a bunch of off-road courses. But the problem with me was that I didn't have anywhere to go. And you only have that window of opportunity in Canada in the summer. Sometimes you get like an early spring. But I didn't really use any of the skills that I'd learned. But I kept at it. And social media, it plays a huge role, I think, in everything we do anymore. And I started seeing these people. Yeah. So you're following these people who are doing these round the world trips, or just like 6-month trips, or these women doing solo trips. So I did my first solo trip. I went out to Western Canada, and that was 3 weeks. It was I just did everything so fast. I think I covered 11,000 kilometers. Sorry, I don't know what that is in miles, but in 3 weeks. Okay. Yeah. And it was just the most incredible experience I'd had to date as of that date on the bike. So then I started following people, and I kind of thought, when I retire one day, that would be really nice to try and ride around the world on a motorcycle. But that was still really far off. But like we talked about earlier, Misty, things can happen in a heartbeat. And the company I worked for had a restructuring, and it was kind of like, well, here's another job like that I didn't want, or we're going to let you have an early retirement. And it was a no-brainer for me. It was like, where do I sign? But then I had to talk to my daughter, who was still in university at the time, because I had to make sure that she was on board with me, selling everything, making sure she was taken care of, and trying to travel the world. And I thought for sure she'd cry, like, oh, no, mommy, no. But she was like, do it. Just do it. And so together we sold everything I owned except for what she needed, sold the house, the car, and it happened so fast. Like the house closed in, I think it was 3 weeks. And I actually signed the papers in Tennessee at a gas station in a thunder and lightning storm. And I was going to go to Florida after that, but then I had to head all the way back to Canada because they wanted to close in less than a month. So it was just it was just crazy. And
like a whirlwind. Yeah.
It was a whirlwind. Yes. But then finally I just had my daughter organized in her apartment and set a date and started out. Yeah.
Very cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that sometimes in life it takes like a traumatic thing or something major happening to us to make us realize life is short and we got to get out there and do the things that we want to do,
Yes. And some of the adventure people I've met along the way, everybody has a story. Everybody has something, like you just said, that tips them into going and doing what they have dreamt of, or doing something more extreme, getting out of their comfort zone. I've heard some amazing stories from people, very inspirational stories of tragedies and loss and all kinds of things.
Yeah. Do you feel that the traveling is like therapeutic for you? Do you feel like it's helped you kind of cope with all of the life changes and things that have happened?
I think it has. I think it has helped a lot. First of all, I used to wonder if I was running away from everything.
Mm-hmm.
But now I realize that I'm running towards things. I'm embracing life. I'm embracing new cultures. I'm embracing not having any schedule whatsoever, so I can kind of do what I want. Sorry, my voice is already going. Um, I I love it. I love the lifestyle I have. It might not be for everyone. It is very much so a vagabond lifestyle, nomadic lifestyle, but
Yeah.
it's yeah.
So you're in Ushuaia, right?
Hmm.
And where
Yes.
did you start? And where did you end? And I know where you ended up, but where did you start on this
So I
trip?
started in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada.
Okay.
And I didn't spend a lot of time in the States because our dollar is not very good in the United States. So I kind of rushed through to Texas. And once I crossed into Mexico, I started slowing down. But I was still really nervous because this is all brand new to me. You know, you hear all the warnings from well-meaning friends to be careful of the cartel, watch out for this, don't go out at night. So I was still very nervous. So I found myself still rushing from town to town. Um, but yeah, I started in Mexico and made it all through Central America. Once I
Mm-hmm.
got to Panama, I put the motorbike and myself on a sailboat and we sailed for 5 days through the San Blas Islands and ended up in Colombia.
Nice.
Yes. So it was quite the experience. Now, when I started off, I didn't have any idea that I was going to be traveling through a world pandemic. I don't think anybody saw that one coming. And I definitely didn't expect to pick up
No.
furry little pillion along the way. But in Colombia, I spent so much time in the mountains. I thought, okay, I need to see the beach again. I need to see the ocean. So I took off. I think it took me maybe 5 days to ride there. And that's where I found Rue. She would just jump into my hammock. She would, oh, thank you, Rue. You're getting kisses.
Aw.
I'd be sitting there reading up and having a glass of wine, just relaxing, and this dog would come out of nowhere and dive on me, and she just started
Aw.
hanging around. Of course, so I'd feed her. One night, she even found my room on the second floor of the hostel. So I heard this noise. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, who's at my door? So I have this little machete. So I got my machete and I opened my door. And there's this dog sitting there looking at me, covered in ticks, bones sticking out. I'm like, so she comes in and she jumps on my bed. I'm like, oh my God. All I could think about is these fleas and these ticks. So I literally cocooned myself in the sheets and she lay down and she would sit on the motorbike when I'd work on it. She'd follow me to restaurants. She'd lay under my chair. She was just always with me, and I saw how they treat the dogs. It's sad, it seems, on the coast of most of these places where the dogs get treated the worst. And we ended up finding a milk crate. The locals helped me find a milk crate, and we fashioned an old feed bag over top. And I have a video somewhere of them cutting holes in this feed bag with their machete and lacing it with a hole in the middle for her head. And that's how we traveled for probably a year because she fooled me when I found her. Yeah, she had tiny, tiny little feet. And I thought, okay, you're not going to grow very big. And here she is 50 pounds later. She tricked me. She fooled me for sure. So I ended up needing a new carrier. I tried making some myself. I finally went with a carrier from a company called Go Roughly. Jess and Greg, they've designed this carrier. They were riding around with their, I think it was Moxie was 75-pound German Shepherd. I think that was the weight, but they were used to these big dogs. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go with their carrier, and it's just been a game changer for Rue and I. It's just peace of mind for me because yes, we've had a couple of crashes. When you're off road, you have a tendency to drop the bike more, but Rue is very secure. and with these bumpers around her. So I'm very, very happy. Carla, I would love to meet in Columbia again.
Yeah, I agree with Lisa. She said that Rue adopted you, and she definitely knew that you needed somebody or some animal. So that's awesome.
That was not my plan. And even when I first took her away from the coast, I thought I'm going to fix her, get her parasite and tick and flea medicine, get her rabies, and I'm going to find a really good family, a really nice farm somewhere inland to leave her. You know, I don't have room for this dog on my bike.
Right.
And now, yeah, she takes up like probably all of her stuff is probably 75 pounds worth of her carrier, her dog food, winter coat, raincoat, brush, like just, yeah, it's crazy. So
and how heavy is your bike on just by itself, like with nothing on it?
Oh, I want to say it's 409 kilos. For some reason, that rings a bell in my head. So it's a heavy bike. And then I've graduated. I went to hard panniers because it was just easier. We got stuck in the desert once where we ran out of fuel. We ran out of water. I didn't have enough room to carry food for both of us. It was just more food for Rue. So when I got to, I think it was Santiago, Chile, I just went straight to Turatec and I said, I need hard panniers. I need more room. Because I missed all that big back pannier or pillion space where I used to have a big bag where I could carry all kinds of stuff. And now that's Rue's throne back there. So
yeah, she's like, that's my spot now.
Oh, yes.
That's awesome. So let's talk about your bike build. What kind of bike do you have, and what have you done any modifications to it or anything else?
So I ride a BMW 700 GS, and when I first left, I had a lot of people saying, no, don't take a BMW. A Honda it's easier to find parts for. And I had the other people saying, no, you need a bigger bike. But my bike was paid for, so I was perfectly happy to start off with this bike. But I haven't done a whole lot to it. What have I done to it? I think I just put on different pegs for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Some crash bars. I didn't even do it. I had the local guys in Brantford do that stuff for me. I haven't really done anything to it. It is as it is. I had to put a bash plate on it. I got some special air filters and fuel filters for it. But other than that, I've done nothing to it. And knock on wood, it's been acting up a bit lately, but I've just rolled over 100,000 kilometers with her, and she's been really nice to me. So I don't want to complain too much about it. But Rue's carrier was the biggest change, I think. Rue's carrier and the hard panniers were the biggest change to the bike. So. And
did that affect much how you ride the bike, or has it kind of slowed you down to more fuel?
Because where these carriers are, they're on the pillion seat. So it's no different than if I had a 150-pound person sitting behind me, except with Rue, it's much lighter. Mm-hmm. So, and the way that Go Roughly has designed these carriers, it's it just sits perfectly. Rue's got her bumpers. She's strapped in, which is also controversial. A lot of people say don't strap your dog in. They should be able to jump free if you're going to crash. And then there's like me, I feel more comfortable with Rue strapped in with these bumpers around her. And
yeah,
I don't know that there's a right way or a wrong way. It's just whatever you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's your dog anyway. So who cares what anybody else thinks?
Yeah.
Everybody's got opinions on the internet. You know that. Like everybody.
I call them keyboard warriors.
Yeah.
So it's
everybody. Yeah.
Yes.
So how long have you been in Ushuaia now?
I think I've been here for like a month now. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I arrived and it was, wow. It was, God, see, I even still get choked up. I think it was like the most emotional place ever. Because it's the final destination in South America. And because I'm so slow, and plus a year of a pandemic, when I got here, it was like I was crying, but there were grown men crying that showed up at those pillars. So so we're all standing around crying and talking. But I also knew that when I got to Ushuaia, I was going to treat myself to a cruise to Antarctica.
Yes.
So
Let's talk about that.
that was magical. So I also knew that if I booked it last minute, it's much, much cheaper than if you book it ahead of time. But I was in such a hurry to book it that I didn't really do any investigating. I thought I was going to be on this fancy cruise ship, and I was thinking, oh man, I could use a massage one day. And I'm thinking gourmet food, and I ended up on a retired scientific research vessel.
Oh,
which was turned out to be brilliant because there's only 90 people allowed on board. Antarctica has very, very strict laws about how many people off of a ship can go on the continent. So some of these big cruise ships that have 500 passengers, none of them are allowed to go on the continent. They can only just sail by and look at it. But Antarctica is a magical place. It is so untouched. And I know, again, there was a bit of controversy about, there's too many people going to Antarctica. But even though there's over 100,000 people visiting Antarctica, only 15,000 are allowed to step foot on that continent. And there's only a couple places that you can go. You can't just go off on your own. Like, it has to be all coordinated with any other ships in the way. Huge, huge cross-contamination processes in place for when you go on the island, and then when you come back, the continent, and then you come back off the continent. Very, very strict. But it was just incredible. It was more than what I thought it was going to be. It was it's another beautiful memory for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that in and of itself is a trip of a lifetime on top of what you've already done. Like, that's amazing.
Yes. So that's why, like I said, I knew once I got to Ushuaia, I wanted to treat myself. I honestly wanted to go to the South Pole, but they want something like $60,000 to go there. And that's way out of my budget. So that's
out of all of our budgets.
I think so, put together. So I think, just being able to take this ship across the famous Drake Passage and wake up one morning and go out on deck, and you're just staring at Antarctica with your coffee. And it was surreal, spectacular, magical. All these words that I normally don't use, I was using multiple times a day. It was just everywhere you looked was a beautiful photo. Like, it's just, there was no bad scenery. Like, you go to these scenic places and there's garbage here. There's graffiti that's not very nice over there. This was all just pristine and beautiful. Yes.
Wow. That's amazing. So you also did another unique thing when you got to Ushuaia, which was you continued south past there, right?
Yes.
123 kilometers south past there. And who did you take with you on that?
I took Catherine from the United States. I took Kathleen, who is from New Zealand, who's also on a round the world trip. Both women are on round the world trips. And there was another woman, Sabrina, from Germany, that joined us. And then we had met a fellow, I think he's Andrew's from the States as well. And he agreed to join us to be our paparazzi for the day. So, nice. And even though I tried to sneak away without Rue, she followed me, and she came. So it was basically a girls' day. And there's this route, it's Route J, that is off of Route 3, which is the final road into Ushuaia. And it's 123 kilometers of hard-packed dirt, loose gravel. And it takes you the furthest you could ever ride south. It's literally where the road ends. There's an old naval base there. And I like traveling on my own, and I like traveling with groups for a few days. But for me, there is nothing more encouraging and empowering than a group of women riding together. And
That's awesome.
it was that just made that so much more special, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. We were all excited. I've done rides with men as well. And sorry guys, I don't mean to insult any of my male friends, but the guys just kind of like go. They're like gone. And for women, I think we're more encouraging for each other. We're more caring, more watchful. For example, we said that, you're only as fast as your slowest rider. So I'm the slowest, probably because of Rue. So they let me lead. It was so encouraging. And again, I'm going to use that word empowering, to finish that last 123 kilometers with those three amazing women. It was. Oh, sorry about that, Caleb.
Caleb forgives you.
Oh, thank you, Caleb. It was. It's going to be another day that's way up here in my memories. Some of my best memories on the road is riding with those women. So
that's awesome. And I tell our male audience members, and I've said this before, we don't try to be exclusionary here. It's more about comfort level and kind of feeling empowered, riding along with a group of women. I don't know. I can't really describe it. There's reasons why we do like ladies only little camping retreats, and we highlight women on this podcast. It's to show other women you can do this too. I mean,
yes,
you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure 15 years ago or whatever, you never in a million years imagine you'd be doing this.
never. Never.
And I think it's amazing that more and more women are getting out there and doing it. It's currently Women's History Month, and there was an article that that TRD, what is it called? I'm gonna misquote it. Trail 4R, the magazine and internet site. They just did an article on women that overland and off road, and they highlighted a whole bunch of women that do that. Tread magazine highlights women all the time. It's just really great to see more examples for other women to look to say, hey, if this girl can do it, I can do it too. If this lady's doing it with a dog, I can do it too. If this woman's doing it with a kid, I can do it too, because otherwise we're sitting here thinking there's no way. That sounds all great and everything, but there's no way I could ever do that.
I think when somebody first starts riding a motorcycle, that's overwhelming as it is all in itself.
Yeah.
And maybe if you're with your partner, they want to push you a bit more. And yes, it's good to get out of your comfort zone, but you're just starting out, you're overwhelmed. Maybe you're too embarrassed to say something. And the worst thing that you can do when you're riding is to try to keep up with everybody. That is just like, for me, that's a hard no. I'll stay a kilometer. You guys will have to wait for me up ahead, but it's overwhelming. And I think maybe women might find it embarrassing. I know I sure did. Thank you so much.
I love it. Merge, damn it, merge. I love it.
That's a great name.
I love it. That's awesome.
But I just think that it's overwhelming enough. And if you're with a group of women, again, it's just something about women taking care of women, being more patient, not trying to push you too far beyond what you are comfortable with at first. It's just, I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah. No, it's a special thing. And I think that, I like to, and Arla likes to do those kind of things with other women. We like to encourage things. We have a Facebook group. It's called Ladies Overland Lounge. And it's basically just a group for women. Again, not trying to be exclusionary. It's just a safe place where women can ask questions about builds, about, recovery type scenarios, just anything that they have, camping, hygiene stuff, anything,
hygiene's another big one. Yeah.
Yeah, so we just try to make it a place where nobody's embarrassed or shy about asking questions that they really want to know.
Mhm.
So, I just think it's important. It's important for men to have that kind of camaraderie and, closeness and something somewhere where they can talk about things as well without women being present. I agree with that,
Yes. Yeah.
So I just think it's important to have those places. And there are plenty of men that have come. Like we had a great guy, Aaron Paris from Switchback Outdoor Safety, come and do a whole recovery class and first aid and trauma care class with a group of ladies we had there. And, he even made the comment he loves teaching women because they ask really good questions and they listen and they, don't try to take over the class and whatever. So, I just think it's a good place. I think the off-road and overlanding community is becoming a good place for women to find that adventure, go out and learn things and have that community where they can ask questions and feel safe and feel good about doing that. So
Absolutely. And not be embarrassed, because
right.
On some of these forums on Facebook or social media, you ask a question and you get maybe 2 good answers, and 98 of the answers or comments are people making fun of you or laughing at you or putting you down or telling you your bike's too big or go home, or like it's horrible. Some of these groups where somebody is asking a genuine question because it's their first time,
right?
And you just get bashed to crap on these sites. It's sad.
Yeah,
I see in several groups, on Facebook, that it's just typically a male asks a question in one of the groups and then gets belittled and made fun of.
Yeah,
because they're asking, could they run 35s on blah 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 without a lift, and it's like a shark fest.
Yeah,
and I'm like, really, dude?
I know.
This guy's just asking because he's new to it. Weren't you new at it at one time as well?
Yeah,
exactly. Like people, I don't know why people forget.
You're
not
not
that we're
inspiring anybody to do it
here,
by
but
doing that to them.
yeah, it's people forget that they first started out somewhere. Like you didn't always know how to, change your own oil or which tires and what lift and what gearing you need to do. People didn't always just know that. You learned that, and you had to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So,
and there really is no such thing as a stupid question. And I see too.
There's really not.
No, I see people talk about, I've got a time frame. I want to ride from, say, California all the way down the Pan American Highway to Ushuaia and back up. Do you think I can get it done in 3 months? And always the first thing everybody says is, "Oh, you're missing the best of everything." But this guy just said he has a time frame, so he can't. So this is what he wants to do. And maybe when he does it, he'll realize there's other places. But that's always the first thing that these people get bashed on is, well, you're missing all this, or it's frustrating to see that.
My response would be, so should I just not go? Like, should I miss out on everything, or should I be able to, should I see what I can in the time period I have? Because, a lot of people work full time still, and a lot of people have to take time off. They have a certain amount of vacation time, and they want to adventure and explore too,
I can't imagine how discouraging it is also for the people asking the questions.
Yeah.
For other people to not give very nice answers or just poke fun at them. Yeah, it's got to be discouraging, especially when you're thinking of taking something so big on.
Yeah.
You want.
Yeah. You kind of have to have a thick skin nowadays, like just to even put yourself out there, and then people just railroad you sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. We're going to take a really quick break, and I want to announce our Lady Overlander of the Week. It's something we do every week. We try to do every single time we have a podcast episode. And what we do in that Ladies Overland Lounge group is we ask people to nominate a Lady Overlander. And so this week, our Lady Overlander of the Week is Gloria Balboa, Taco Mama Overland.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she was nominated by Amy Marlar.
This girl right here. This girl right here.
Is. Yeah. So Congratulations, Gloria. Gloria's amazing.
Congratulations.
Yeah, she has a medical background. She served in the Navy. She, I think, I'm not going to say the company she works for, but she works as
For a very big company.
at a regular company doing medical stuff for them. And she's just embraced overlanding, embraced off-roading. She's a lady-owned Toyota's ambassador where she lives in North Dakota. So, I mean, she's just an amazing person, sweetheart.
Built her own rack for her truck.
Yeah. So she like fabricates and builds stuff. So well deserved. Thank you so much, Gloria. You're an awesome person and we love you very much. Just wanted to get that in while we still had time left on the show. But yeah, so if you guys ever have anybody that you want to nominate for Lady Overlander of the Week, you can message us on Instagram, Facebook, wherever. Send us an email, and we will call Arla. If she gets out her number, I don't know about that. But yeah, definitely get those nominations in. We love highlighting people. We love showcasing women that are out there doing the thing. So thanks again, Gloria. You're amazing. We love you. And thanks to Amy for nominating her.
Sabrina.
Hey, Sabrina.
Hey. I see you put interested on our little camp out. I didn't see confirmed.
Oh my gosh. We're going to have so much fun. So Tracy, let's talk a little bit about what you have. So you've done these amazing, epic, like life-changing trips, already. Okay. What's next on your plate? What do you have in store for the rest of the year and next year?
I honestly don't know. My daughter's been talking to me like, are you coming home? What are you doing? So immediately there's 3 or 4 more places in southern Argentina that I want to visit. And I have a couple of friends from Colombia that are here. But after that, I'm kind of going to limp the bike to Buenos Aires because it needs a big overhaul. And I'm going to plant my butt in the sand somewhere there on the beach.
Girl, yes.
For a month and figure out what I'm going to do next, whether I'm going to ship the bike to Europe or whether I really want to go to Venezuela because Venezuela's been open now for quite a few months again.
Oh, okay.
Yes, there's all kinds of travelers there already. So that was huge on my bucket list when I came down. But I don't know if I want to ride the whole coast of Brazil just to get into like Guyana, French Guiana, Suriname, into Venezuela. So I need to sit down and do the research and the homework and the rainy season and figure it all out. And I'll probably do that in Buenos Aires. So over the next month, I should be in Buenos Aires, which I didn't hit on the way down because I normally don't hit big cities. I like the small towns, but my bike needs a big service. So I'll hit Buenos Aires and I'll figure it out. What I'm going to do with the bike next. I have no idea.
That's awesome. No, and I'm sure that you probably leverage a lot of those Facebook groups to kind of see what what the political climate is in a lot of those places, in addition to, weather coming in and things like that.
Yes. Yeah. Just coming down to Ushuaia, I use the Windy app because there were some days that, they don't really tell you about the winds on the regular weather app. But on this Windy app, it would let you know that it was going to be like 56 knots, which I think is 115 kilometers per hour wind gusts. So I use that. And I would sit out for like 3 days. I wouldn't move because the wind gusts were so terrible. But I could afford to do that because I don't have a schedule. I don't have to be back in Canada. I don't have to be back at work. So I can afford to sit out for 3 days, 2 days, a week if necessary.
Yeah.
And then hit the nice weather, which I've pretty much done. I've hit pretty good weather the whole way here. When I arrived in Ushuaia, it was actually 19.5 degrees Celsius, which is still very rare in their summer, during their summer right now. And it was just a beautiful day. But for now, all I can see ahead of me is Buenos Aires. And I'll
in the beach.
And the beach. Yeah, I
love the beach.
Yeah, the beach. The beach.
Arla and I are beach girls.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's a happy place.
we have a little mini trip coming up together in April that we're excited about. We're going to go to the beach.
Bring bail money.
Mhm.
Where?
Bring bail money.
What's that?
She said bring bail money, I think.
Oh,
Oh boy.
Destin. Flying into Fort Walton. Destin.
oh, that's right. You
Yeah.
said you're going to Florida. Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
gonna have a
Girls
good time.
only trip?
Oh yeah.
No.
Just
No
love
kids, no husband.
Put me in field speed dial. I'll send bail.
Oh
Thank
yeah.
you, love.
Oh yeah, we'll have a good time. But yeah, I mean, I think that after you do South America, you should do, where are you going to go? What do you think?
So
Maybe
originally I
Africa?
was going to do Africa. That
Yes.
was going to be the second continent I went to, but Rue has completely changed everything.
Okay.
Completely changed everything in a good way. But I don't want to put her through those 45 degrees Celsius days. I won't be able to do all the things that I wanted to do in Africa.
Yeah.
Just because I would have to be finding doggy daycares for her all the time. I don't know what the dog food situation is in some of the smaller countries. Well, not smaller countries, but just the smaller towns you're going through. So personally for me, I don't want to put Ruth through that. So I'm
That
kind
makes
of thinking,
sense.
yeah. And again, I won't be able to do things that I really want to do. So I think I'm looking at possibly shipping it to Europe and maybe like do Spain during the Northern Hemisphere, winter, Spain, Greece type of thing, and then heading
Mhm.
north into Norway, Switzerland, Sweden, just kind of do all of it. And then slowly
That
head
sounds terrible.
into
I know.
I know it's a bad
That's
idea.
awful.
Horrible.
And then heading towards the stands, Russia is, politics aside, I don't care what anybody says, but Russia's always been big on my list too. So, Mongolia, Russia, all the stands, just kind of stay over that way because I don't like the idea of constantly shipping my bike back and forth because that costs a lot of money too. So if I can get it over to Europe, then I can just kind of do a whole bunch of stuff. Well,
Oh, yeah.
I'll probably be over there for another 5-6 years or more. Hopefully, we'll see. The hard part about that is I'll be further away from home. So
Yeah.
South America, it's really easy to get back home, relatively easy to get back home, even with Rue. But the further you get away over there, the longer the flights are, the harder it is for flying with Rue if I want to come home for like 6 months. It's not as easy being able to.
Yeah. It's a lot of
come home.
logistics.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes. So
I mean,
that's the hard part.
yeah. You can always fly your daughter out to see you too.
Excuse me. I've done that
Yeah.
many times. I've flown her into Honduras, Colombia, different places in South America, and we've spent a few weeks together. So, yes.
Oh, that's amazing. So what does she think of all this? Now that you've already sold everything and you've been on the road for a while, looking back now, what does she think about all this?
She is, I swear, she is my biggest fan. She is so proud of me. It's like the tables have turned.
Yeah.
Like I've encouraged her doing all this stuff all of her life as we do our kids. And I'm so proud of where she is today. But now sometimes we'll talk and I'll be saying, yeah, I don't know if I can do this. And she's like, Mom, like, of course you can do it. Look everything you've done. And so it's a total like about face.
Yeah, it's like a flip.
It
Yeah.
is a total flip where she's doing all the encouraging and she's so proud of me and she shares so many of my posts and I swear to God, she tells everybody that she meets about me. I get all these new followers or stuff because she's telling all her friends and she just always says, my mom's badass. So that's always what she says. My mom's
right.
badass. So I have a really close bond with my daughter. And so it'll be hard the further away in the world I get, but we will make it work somehow.
Absolutely. I'm excited
Yes.
for you. I can't wait to see where you go next and what you do
Thank
next.
you.
That's really
Yeah.
cool.
Well, some of these decisions might be made with a couple of cold beers on a beach. So I don't know how good my decisions will be made, but
I wouldn't say that's where all good decisions are made, either a margarita or a beer or something on a beach.
I agree. I totally agree.
Absolutely. So if people want to follow your story, where can they find you on social media?
Well, on Facebook, it's just Tracy Charles. In Instagram, it's TLC _Travels.
Okay.
And on YouTube, it would be my full name, which is Tracy Lynn Charles. TracyLynnCharles.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And I would want to say I watched your YouTube episode where you and the other women traveled south from Ushuaia. Great episode. I highly recommend it. You guys have to watch it. It's wonderful. Give her a subscribe. Definitely watch it. Great show.
Give her some love.
Love. Yes. We like giving love.
Well, thank you, ladies, for inviting me to chat with you. This has been awesome. I love it.
Yes. Yeah, we've had a really good time and loved hearing your story. And I'd like to say thank you to Okie Overland for being a great sponsor of the show. And make sure you get our merch at Shop Overland Apparel, Lady Overlander Radio. It's on there. We're in the list. It's in alphabetical order. So
buy our stuff. Buy our stuff.
We'll see everybody at the Jasper Jeep Jam. And Gage says hello, and he is you and Rue's biggest fan.
Your boyfriend Gage is saying hi.
Fan.
Yes.
You got a fan, Rue? Rue's like, I don't know what's going on here.
Come here.
Oh, you got somebody sent you the heart.
Aww.
There's the bike. I see it.
Are you able to turn the camera so we can see Rue?
Let's see. Yeah. Rue is just sitting right here beside me.
Hey, baby.
Oh, what a beautiful girl.
Yeah. She's like, no.
Rue.
No.
Oh,
hi, Rue. She's like,
Sweet baby. Look at them ears.
Good girl. We love doggies on this show.
Oh, I think one day after I can't put my leg over the motorcycle, I'll be getting a fancy van. That way I can have more than one rescue along the way.
There you go.
I know,
awesome.
right?
I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching tonight, everyone. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.